Hey Lions fans, Maggie Reese here at FaceTime with the Lions. We are here with one of our most tenured players, Kendrick Washington. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So Kendrick, tell me a little bit about your start. Where are you from?
I'm originally from a small town about 20, 30 minutes east of Tallahassee, Florida, Monticello. I grew up there for most of my life. So probably I was about 15, ninth grade, and then I ended up moving to Vero Beach with my uncle or whatnot. Nice. So I, family ties, family issues, some people going away or whatnot, caused it or was the reason it happened. I wouldn't say caused because I lost my younger sister. So sure. My mother was in a headspace, and so it was just at that time the best situation for me, which probably the reason I'm here today.
That's awesome. So you went to school in Florida, went to college in Florida. Where'd you go?
I went to Florida A&M in Tallahassee, HBCU. Probably, I would say, the best HBCU or whatnot. But yeah, I went to Florida A&M for 4 years. I did that. The reason I chose that was because I'm a big family guy. So I wanted my mom to be able to see me play. She wasn't able to drive, and my grandfather, was getting on up in years. Even though he still felt young, it was easier for him, to drive. 30 or 45 minutes in, it was easy for me to get home cooking too. So
right, there you go, win-win.
Everything win-win.
So you played college ball, and then you ended up here in Columbus?
Yes, actually my first professional game was in Arena 1 with the Chicago Rush. When I first finished, my college season was over, I went to Chicago for about the last 6 games of their season. I finished off there, and then I took some other routes, tryouts. I actually did a couple workouts for the Jacksonville Sharks when they were in Arena 1, and then I did a few CFL tryouts, and things didn't go the way I expected, but I kept pushing, kept striving. My brother, I have 2 younger brothers that actually just turned 21.
Wow.
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. They were always looking up to me and always, bro this, bro that, you need to do this and do that, and keep going, man, keep going. And the issue I try to push to them today too, so keep going. But I ended up in Chicago. After that, a couple tryouts didn't work out. I went back to school to finish off some courses and get a degree. And then I also went and my grandfather and grandmother got sick. So that, it all played out. The Lord has a plan for us all. And after that, I actually got a call from Coach Gibson. One of my teammates was already up here, and he was like, man, you still looking to play ball? And I say, well, that's me all day. I play football all day. And got the call from Coach Gibson, came, and to be honest, Coach Gibson actually cut me.
No, he got cut.
Cut me. Left and went to another team. They cut me. Came back. I sat for about 5 or 6 weeks. We had a player that had a wedding to be in, couldn't make it, and didn't look back since.
Wow.
Been playing ever since.
That's great. So if anybody is young Lions out there listening, adversity is something that shouldn't keep you set in your place. Just keep pushing forward, keep moving.
Yeah, it's a part of life. It's ups and downs and the ins and outs. And after I got cut, I actually was staying in. Wasn't, money was scarce, wasn't making any money because I was just here. I wasn't on the team.
Right,
I was practicing though. Basically, I was at a job working and went on payroll.
Voluntarily.
Yeah, volunteering, and it all worked out for the best. I think it all in the end.
So we were joking a little bit off camera. You've been here long enough to know Coach Gibson with hair, and now to where we are now. Tell us a little bit about the evolution. You guys have always obviously had some success together, winning 2 championships last year, getting very close. What's it like to play with someone for that long, the type of relationship that you build between coach and player?
It goes from coach and player at first to, some people would say father-son, but it becomes a bond because you spend most of your time away from your family. He spends time away from his wife and his 3 beautiful kids, and then, we're away from our family and friends, and, it builds time going to the airport and flight getting delayed, or going to the airport and having to sit bunched up between 2 guys that's 300 pounds, you're all sitting on the same row. And it just builds that bond, and unbreakable bond that, stuff may go awry. Because we honestly all have had, disagreements, and we may fuss and bicker and fight, but at the end of the day, we all know what we're here for. So, I mean, it's over the years. When I first got here, after he cut me, I was kind of, upset at first, but I always understood. My grandfather taught me it was a business. Everything you do it's a business. So it was just, figuring out what was what. And when I got once I got my chance, that I wasn't going to let it get away from me again. So once it happened, just to tell you, over the years we had people come and go, and I think the thing that makes us what we are, we try to keep the same core of guys, and we try to do stuff a certain way. And
right.
I know for the last 4 years, Lions fans have been, spoiled, and
yeah.
It's what we're used to. When you're used to winning, it's something that, it's hard to change. So I know the way we went out last year was, a bad taste, and
right.
it's just, things have changed, but we've always been able to stay afoot, and he's always taught us, do the little things, because it's easy week one for everybody to be rah-rah, and in camp, everybody's rah-rah, but when week 9 or 10
sure.
gets here and you have a couple bruises and stuff, the more people's energy level goes down, but he always try to make sure he keep us bought into the system and get where we need to go.
So you mentioned last season a little bit. Obviously, you had another setback, a little bit more adversity in your life, rupturing your Achilles tendon. Walk us through kind of your mindset after that injury and fighting back through that, and where you are now, getting ready for this season.
Well, now I'll say I'm 99.9%. That other percent will come once I get out there and practice and I, make it a complete practice. But it was a crazy freak accident. Doctor said there was nothing I could do about it to prevent it. I was doing a pass rushing drill, and normal day, normal stuff, my usual self, and I got ready to do a hesitation move, and when I got ready to push off, my leg just went limp, and I fell over, and it was like, I looked at Coach Thomas and Coach Rizzo and was like, man, who just hit me? And they were like, nobody hit you, man. And I went back and watched film, and the closest person was probably like 4 yards away.
Wow.
So at first it took me on a spin of, I was trying not to believe it. I didn't want to believe it, because I was like, Lord, this is not the way, this is supposed to go. Like, nah, I know it's not supposed to happen like this, but it honestly, I feel worked out for the better, because the last year or so, I've actually been able to see my mom a whole lot more. I've been able to spend time with my nephew and niece and family. So, things have been, first couple of days it was rough. The first couple of weeks it was rough watching. And I'm not a guy that, wants or would ask for help. If I ask for it, I really need it. But, it was tough at first. Physical therapy some days was tough. Wanting to be able to be your normal self, walking around and trying to take off running, the doctor telling you, don't do this, and it's like, the doctor's not watching, I think I can. But at the same time, the doctor's telling you not to, and you stand up and it feels like your leg, because like when it happens, it's like your leg is not even there. You still know it's attached, but you have no feeling on the back part of your foot. The front parts you can feel, your toes, but other than that, that's all. So when I used to try to push off it, I would have to grip the ground with my toes first and then try to push myself up, and it's like,
it's crazy.
Leg end up smaller than the other one, but it's, like I said, it was a crazy freak accident, but it was some rough days, but better days are here now, and I'm just ready to go.
So what are you most looking forward to about this upcoming season?
Teams that were added, and we've actually had a couple guys that played with us that's on other teams, so I went to sign with other teams. So I'm looking to see those guys, but to actually, me personally, I just want to play and make it through it, because it's been, the last 2 years I witnessed last year, and then I had to go through the game of Jacksonville when we lost in the championship. So, I'm just ready to play and get at it, and the camaraderie and the bonding and stuff you have with players. Like I said, I was saying earlier about, you know, guys playing football and spending time with guys. You go to the weight room, or we go eat, or we're just sitting around laughing and joking. And I mean, it's just a big old family. So I'm just looking to the time, the good and the bad of the season, because I know we're going to have both.
Well, good. Well, Lions fans, you're not going to have to wait much longer. We're getting ready to open up the season in April, and we cannot wait to see you there. Season tickets are on sale now to come see Kendrick back in action. And this is all for FaceTime for this week. We'll see you next week.